What is going on, everybody? WeedleTwineedle here, and we are backing in with another Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle, and this one's going to be against Chaz. Now, I battled my opponent on my Discord server, so if you guys are interested in Wi-Fi battling in general and you want to get a game with me or other people in general, definitely check out my Discord. A link will be in the description below, and I'm not accepting battle requests over any other platform besides Discord, just so you guys know. So, looking at my opponent's team, we are having a rarely used tier battle, so most of these Pokemon in this game you're not really going to be seeing in many battles, so that's pretty cool. No Pheromosa. My opponent does have a very threatening RU team. He has Rotom Heat, Shiinotic, Flygon, Registeel, Feraligatr, and Dragalge. As I'm using a pretty fun team. I'm using Corsola, Beware, Delmise, Turtonator, Gardevoir, and all that fun stuff. So, if you guys didn't see, Shaniqua did get a nice fashion update, so I'm looking pretty clean with my new outfit, my new hair, my new weave. So we're just going to get right into this battle with my new look. So I got my new look, so I'm just full of hype in this game. Anyway, turn 1, Rotom Heat is going to go for the Volt Switch, as I'm going to lead off with my Corsola. I do carry the Wackenberry, though I should probably run a Rindoberry because I am quad weak to grass and not electric, so Rindoberry might be better. I'm checking grass types, but it's okay. In comes the Registeel, and I'm just going to choose to go for Mirror Coat here. As he walks into the Mirror Coat, and the Registeel takes a huge chunk of HP. Definitely helpful in knocking this thing out. As here, I don't want to give him the free Stealth Rex of his life, though I could set them up myself. They're not really that helpful for me, and I can just bring in my Anchor, my Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman. It's Anchor. I don't know why I named it Dutchman, but that was the first thing that came to mind when I hatched it. So yeah, I'm going to bring in Delmise here. He's going to lay up his Stealth Rex. Really annoying, but not much I can do about that, as I'm hoping that the Registeel actually chooses to stay in here, because if I'm able to weaken or knock out this Registeel, this means that I'm not going to have to worry about it later on in the game. I'm not going to worry about it Thunder Waving me or poisoning me or any of that BS, so that is very nice. As here, the Anchor Shot is going to make it so the Registeel cannot escape, and that was why I really wanted him to stay in here. I hoped he would just stay in here to status me so I could trap this Registeel, and this is where Anchor Shot's actually like low-key a really good move, because trapping moves like the Sinister Air Raid, or no, it's the Z move, the Spirit Shackle, that was the move I was thinking of, and Anchor Shot, they're pretty cool trapping mechanics, and I like how Game Freak added them to this game, because it makes these Pokemon have a nice niche to them. Being able to trap walls like this, like Registeel, and being able to just 1v1 them, even with Toxic, it makes it so my Gardevoir is going to have a much easier time dealing with the remainder threats on my opponent's team. So, yeah, the Registeel's going to lay up Stealth Rex. He can't touch me because I trapped him. His only offensive move is Seismic Toss, as we see. If he had another offensive move, I'm sure he'd be using it right now. So I'm assuming my opponent probably has dual status with S-Toss and Rocks. That's my main guess, as Delmise is starting to get weakened by the poison. A little bit unfortunate, but I just want to weaken this Registeel. I don't really care what it takes. And we're able to knock out the Registeel with the Shadow Claw finally. So at the very least, this Registeel is finally dead, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. So good job, Delmise. You actually did something nice. And this isn't a Selfless Delmise set, in case you guys are wondering, because I figured a Selfless Delmise is probably its best set outside of Choice Band, and since I want to use it for its defensive capabilities, yeah. But anyway, I don't want to stay in here because I want to save my Delmise for Death Fodder, so I'm going to bring in my Beware here, expecting the Crunch / Ice Punch, as my opponent does decide to go for the Crunch. So I'm able to pivot into that, thankfully, as Beware actually eats it up thanks to the Fluffy ability, and I'm also a Salt Vest Beware, so this is pretty cool. So my Cuddle Buddy is going to be able to scare that thing out. He's going to bring in a Shiinotic here. His hallucinogen. Yeah, sorry if I botched that word. It's currently
3:28 a.m.
So, yeah, you know how that goes. Anyway, Shiinotic's going to get some HP, and I don't want to stay in here because I don't want to get spored. That would be pretty unfortunate. And he's either going to go for Moonblast or Spore. So here I decided to just bring in my Delmise here just for Death Fodder mainly. And I could also hit this thing Anchor Shot if I live, as my opponent just decided to actually go for the Strength Sap. Not what I was expecting really, but thanks to the Strength Sap, he's actually going to be able to set my HP, or not my HP, my attack stat, and get all of his health back. And funny thing is that Strength Sap is actually a move I completely forgot about when I made my Shiinotic, but it's definitely a move you shouldn't forget about, because Strength Sap's actually not bad. It can heal you for so much health, and I think it's for the foe's entire attack stat when you use Strength Sap, so you heal for that. Like if they have like 220 attack, I'm pretty sure you heal for 220 HP, which is kind of ridiculous to think about at level 50, so that's pretty much all your health. So I'm sure that Shiinotic healed for so much and is able to knock me out with the Moonblast, but we're able to get the Rapid Spin off, thankfully. Though in retrospect, I could have went for the Anchor Shot and probably one-shot him thanks to the Steelworker, whatever the ability is. But instead, I'm able to bring in my Rinka here. And now I figured my opponent would want to stay in here because if I get a free Shell Smash off, it's pretty much GG, honestly. So I'm going to go for the Flamethrower onto the Lucigen, assuming he was going to stay in, as thankfully he does stay in, and he's going to go for the Spore and put my Turninator to sleep. I know it seems weird saying thankfully, but it means we're able to at least weaken the Shiinotic to the point where it's not going to be that defensively and annoying, because Strength Step makes killing this Pokemon really obnoxious, actually. So I figured my opponent would want to go for Strength Step onto Turtonator because it's just his best play overall. So I am going to decide to switch out my Turtonator here, and I'm just going to choose to bring in my Gardevoir, my Caseytron, expecting my opponent to want to make the Strength Step play, as I'm able to trace the Effect Spore. Not too handy here because obviously Strength Step does not make contact. And I'm like, alright, I'm a special attacker, he should not heal too much from the Strength Step, as he's going to lower my attack stat. Not that that bothers me because I'm Gardevoir, but look at how much he heals from the Strength Step. He heals over half HP from just Gardevoir's attack stat, which obviously is tip in nature, so its attack stat's very low in comparison to Dhelmise. So Strength Step is a very viable attack in my opinion, though it's not really an attack, it's more of a recovery move that has, you know, an attack lower on it. But I definitely think Strength Step's worthy of a move slot onto Shiinotic for sure. As here he actually chooses to go for Gauger, and he's going to heal a fraction of what he healed with from the Strength Step. If I were him, I would have Strength Stepped again, honestly. But I guess it would have done less damage because now my attack stat's actually lower since he lowered hence the move Strength Step name. But anyway, Gardevoir should be able to just knock this thing out with the Psychic thanks to that nice Spadef drop, as we're able to knock out the Mushroom finally. So no more Fat Mushroom in this game, we're able to knock that thing out, as now he's going to bring in Tony Flygon. I think Tony Flygon was an old Poketuber that, you know, comes back every 2 years and he's like, alright guys, I'm back, and then he just doesn't come back, and it's just like, oh. I understand, man. IRL's the struggle. You know, it just sucks that good Poketubers just say they come back and then just never come back because real life just kicks him in the butt. But it's okay. Tony Flygon, I'm glad that someone else watches him and at least named him after Tony Flygon. Come on, that's pretty cool. So anyway, I'm going to switch out my Beware here and bring in my Gardevoir here because I want to trace that nice Levitate. Because unfortunately, I want to save Beware for Death Water, and the Earthquakes did a little bit too much damage. Because I forgot that Beware's ability is not like Furfrow's. It's only contact moves that it takes half damage from. So pretty obnoxious actually. As now in comes the Rotom Heat here, as I just choose to go for the Moonblast. Good play on her spreader. He's able to pivot into the Moonblast very nicely and take very minimum damage from it. And I don't want to stay in with my Gardevoir. Gardevoir is actually my win condition in this game, because I don't know if you guys have noticed that my opponent has Dragalge and Feraligatr in this game, and if I can trace one of those mons, this Gardevoir turns into a pretty big threat, because if Gardevoir gets either Sheer Force or Adaptability, you know that its stab attacks are going to hurt a lot. So my opponent does decide to bring in the Gator here. It's Gator, another YouTuber reference, teehee, as in comes my Shipmonlee, my Hitmonlee, and now I was going to go for Endure here, but I decided instead to go for a knockoff, and the reason why I did that is because I just really wanted to trace Sheer Force with my Gardevoir in all honesty, and I wanted to knock off just to get some chip damage onto the Feraligatr to the point that Gardevoir should be able to knock him out with the Psychic or Moonblast. So now, I'm going to bring in my Gardevoir here, trace that nice Sheer Force, so now Gardevoir has some nice special attacks to do a bunch of damage, and I should be able to just knock this thing out with the Moonblast, because it is Sheer Force boosted, thanks to the special attack lower chance, so Moonblast should be able to knock out the Gator, as we're able to knock him out. So taking advantage of Sheer Force there, pretty nice, as now my opponent's going to bring a Drop of Draco. So many Poketuber references, oh my gosh, please. Where's the WeedleTwineedle reference? Come on, are you a real Poketuber fan? I'm just joking. What would you even name after me? That's a good question. Probably something with weakness policy. But here, I'm just going to sack off my Rinka because I'm sleeping, as my Turtonator is going to get one shot by the Sludge Wave. Shows the power of adaptability. Adaptability Dragalge for sure, but now I'm going to show you the power of adaptability Gardevoir, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to trace adaptability. So Gardevoir has traced Levitate from Flygon, being able to avoid Flygon's Earthquake. It traced Sheer Force, and now it traced adaptability. Okay, it definitely deserves a title for freaking Trace is Broken, okay? I know I already used Trace Gardevoir is Broken, but damn, dude, this Gardevoir set, oof, man, I really like Gardevoir. I'm starting to like this thing in RU a lot. As here, I'm going to go for the Psychic onto the Rotom Heat, and thanks to the adaptability, it's just going to knock him out. It should be just a Gardevoir cleanup here. I don't think Flygon can take a stab of adaptability Psychic with max special attack. So in comes Flygon, as now I'm just going to choose to go for the Psychic here. and I should be able to knock out the Flygon. But the Flygon actually ends up living, and he's actually going to be able to knock me out with the Earthquake. Now, my opponent actually choked, because I guess since Flygon lived, he could have saved this Rotom Heat, and then brought in Rotom Heat against my Corsola and won the game. But there's no way he would have known that he would have lived that Psychic unless he calced it. And honestly, I wouldn't really calc in Wi-Fi battles, because their time limit is very low anyway, so... yeah, that was the battle, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the battle. It really shows how powerful Trace can actually be in the right situations. If you enjoyed the battle and want to see more of my Wi-Fi content, definitely hit that like button. It really means the world to me, and your guys' support just keeps me inspired to make uploads, and I read all of your comments. Definitely leave your comments and feedback, in the comment section below. And the question of the day is going to be, what is your favorite Generation 3 Pokemon? Now, my favorite Generation 3 Pokemon, the reason why I picked Gen 3 for this question of the day is because Gen 3 is my favorite generation. But yeah, my favorite Gen 3 Pokemon has got to be freaking Medicham. I love Medicham. Medicham's so cool looking, and its freaking legs are saggy boobs, so like, it's literally like awesome. And then its Mega Evolution's freaking broken, and I can't wait for that to be released so I can freaking fake out and one-shot people with freaking pure power priority. Whew, man, Mega Medicham and just regular Medicham in general is just really powerful, and I like Medicham a lot. But that's gonna be the battle, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll check you guys in my next video. Alright, peace.